Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, um, that's different. That is very different. Lila! Hey! Yes, we are on this page because I went live from British Links and um I received an error message there. So I do not know what is going on. But hey, backup plan, we're here.
Really?
Yeah. So, hey, Just Single. So let me go ahead and put the caption here. The check-in. The check-in. And we are talking to Lila Lockdcity. Okay. Let me go ahead and pin that. Pin. There we go. Hey, Lila. How are you doing, sweetie? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too. Hi everyone.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry?
I was saying hi to everybody and only seeing Just Single and Real.
Yes. Hey, Kurt Riley in the building. Hey, baby. You know, of course, he'll be on the Bridge 99 FM later. Also on Irie Jam Radio, they do crossovers. That's my quick plug. So, yes. So we are going to, because we just have, an hour here. I would normally wait for my producer, Romy Icon. I do not see him here. So we're going to just get right into it until he gets here. So everyone, make sure you invite someone so that they can come on over. We are speaking to someone who does not jump in front of the camera. So this is an exclusive. It is exclusive. Yes, but we're just gonna have a conversation though. It's just relax. We're just gonna talk, just two girlfriends talking here. And so we're not necessarily gonna go in chronological order, but I do think that it's important that people know who are the ghosts in the machines, who are the people behind the people. And Lila, you are definitely one of those queens who has done so much for so long, and just chill.
You're making me blush.
Oh, okay. Tell me when I'm lying. Tell me when, okay, she's gone too far.
No,
It's true.
it's true, but self-praise is no recommendation. So, I try to be behind the scenes as much as possible. For those who know, they know. And those who don't know, well.
Yes. Well, this will be my first time getting to sit down with you and talk with you. We're going to talk about the music first, and then we're going to end up, maybe in 14 parishes somewhere. We'll see how that ends.
I'm here, yeah, of course.
Oh, look, can we say branding? What y'all know about, wait, where's my, normally I'll have a water bottle sitting here with no logo on it just to show people. Listen, when you are a brand, you are promoting your brand. So don't be sitting there showing all these logos. But we not there yet. So let's start first in TV. So you did some hosting on TV and some TV production. So let's talk about TV first, Lila.
Okay, TV was, I have no concept of time, so I apologize if I can't tell you what year.
Mm-hmm.
But I initially went to MDTV to be a producer.
Mm-hmm.
I wear many hats. So I started out, starting to do programs with Sasha Bling. At the time, she was Sasha Bling. She's now I Am Bling Blang, whatever.
Okay.
And when you dive into a project and you see areas that needs help, you just automatically just work.
Absolutely.
So I ended up hosting, and I'm like, oh my God.
What am I doing?
Yes, I had my own TV program. I did producing. I was the
wait. What was the name of your program? And I do apologize if I jump in here just to get more information. What was the name of your TV program on MDTV?
It was called Ray T.
Ray Tay. Okay,
Ray,
that's fine.
It was a roundup show, like entertainment news.
Okay. So I'm like trying to wave at everybody. Normally I call everybody's name, but I don't want to do that and cut it off.
Yeah. It was called Rete.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't even remember how the name came about, but yeah, it was called Rete, and it was just like entertainment roundup news, like what's happening in the music industry, new projects.
Okay.
Um,
Well, that makes it a really good name though, because Rete means, like some of this, some of that. So yeah.
we're just vibing one day, and we just came up with the name. I was like, yeah, Rete, and it went off like. For the period of time that I was at MDTV, that's what I did there.
Okay. So was that your only hosting? You've done other hosting?
Yeah, because certain key players that probably know that I am in the industry, like they will see me at an event, a networking event, and host, or there's a cameraman, and they're like, Lila, can you just do this for me? Or just, so they put me on the spot. So
I've been calling you Lila. Why did you correct me?
Because I get called so much names, it's fine.
Girl, if I get called anything but Genie Sweetness, I go for their head.
I get called Lila, Lila City, Lockdcity, Lila Lockdcity.
What is your preference?
Lila is fine.
Lila. Okay, as you were saying, so for those who know and they'll see you out,
they'll just put me on the spot and say, because sometimes for an event, the cameraman goes alone. And it's difficult for him to maneuver the whole camera and do the hosting. So they kind of put me on the spot. And most of them are like my friends. So I end up hosting again. There was also Lyric DVD magazine.
Yeah. Let's stop right there. Can I tell you that he was before his time? Lyric was before Facebook was Lyric DVD.
So a lot of people don't know that I was the voice that was asking all these questions.
No way.
Artel, all of these people, I was the voice asking these questions.
I did not know that. Check that out.
I was with Lyric from the inception, basically, but he had a vision, and he was just not consistent, and he doesn't listen as much, but he had a vision, and I was trying to help him.
You're so nice. He was hard-headed as hell. You are so nice. No, he seriously got in his own way, but he also, being before his time, but you find that also that working with independents, not signed to brands and things of that nature, that they're so passionate that they tend to
get in their own way.
They get in their own way, Lila. They do, but I did love his program. I absolutely did love it, but yeah, he got in his own way. Come on.
But yeah, so
I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, that was me, actually. And I was reminded the other day about this from Kippridge.
Yes.
Because sometimes they prod me and say, you know what you did, or remember that? And I'm like, oh, damn, I forgot. But people think like, I don't even remember what I did, because it's just now talking, you're saying that other than hosting at MDTV, what else did I do? And I'm like, oh, I was the voice behind the whole Lyric DVD magazine, and I forgot about that. Yeah. I was doing, but I mostly like to ask the questions and just let the artist answer, but you hardly hear my voice.
Okay, so I just want to take a moment to appreciate Kippridge and his physique. I do appreciate that he has grown into lusciousness. So you're still talented, but you're super fine these days. And I just wanted to take a moment to say that. Thank you. That had to be said.
Yup. Remember when he was like this?
Yes.
And
he came here in New York on some promo. And gentleman he was with, and you remember Kippridge. And I said, oh, he's here. Where is he? And he said, well, he's right here. And he smiled. And I said, well, where did all this come from? I just have to say that part.
Because I did his bookings as well. So he took the gym really serious. He was really health conscious, and then he just went. But it's easier for men to get from point A to point B in the gym. It's harder for
No, we'll drink water and gain 20 pounds. That's just the truth from drinking water. But I do see, I know a company called Diet Water. So we're going to try that out and see what happens there. So hopefully it doesn't have as many calories as regular water.
It can't be regular water.
Right? Okay. So in addition to hosting, then you've also done, again, behind the camera, you've done production and you've done direction and things. So let's get into that. That's just crazy. You touched on it. Let's get into it a little deeper.
I can't remember the videos that I probably directed, but I know one that stand out was Jamil's Real Father.
Okay.
Yeah, I directed that one, and I just had inputs on so many that I can't even remember. You're sticking me, as I'm saying, I don't do this because I can't tell you time frame, I can't tell you projects, I can't tell you exactly what. The only thing I can remember is the Jamil that I probably get credit for is the Jamil Real Father, because he came out with everybody's, you know, giving thanks to mommy and stuff. He came out and did Father, and I was the director along with Ricardo that did that video.
So there's a couple things here that you said. First, that you get credit for. It's so important that you use that particular phrase. You said a video that you know you've gotten credit for, because it is unfortunate that a lot of persons such as yourself who work behind the scenes, you're not getting credit. We don't see your name anywhere. But you look at something, you say, wait a minute, I'm the one who told them to hold that feather, you know, like that at that angle, which ended up being like the key part of that video. So you know what happened there, you know. So I like that you said that one, that you know that you get credit for. And also speaking about the song about, you know, fathers, because we do honor mothers all the time, and it's like, so you know how you got here, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
I remember it more, I think. There was also stuff with probably Titimos, or
okay.
I don't know. It's just been a lot. So but if you look on the internet, you probably see my name where Real Father is as a director. As a producer, you'll see my name for Maluma 7 Days in Jamaica.
Okay.
Maluma is like Spanish Michael Jackson. So he came to Jamaica, and he had some collabs with Charlie Blacks, and he just wanted to come and dive into the country, into the culture,
right.
and just experience Jamaica. So he came first, and he did a documentary. I don't know it. And then he was so in love with the culture that he said, got to do this. I have to come back. So producer credits for that. I was the Jamaica local producer for that.
Okay. So tell me, what is it like, you know, being behind the camera and having to direct? Do you find that it's difficult because you know you want to have the best project, but the best product, but you're not the only person who's there? So do you find it difficult being a woman and being a director or a producer for those videos?
No, for most of the time, you work with people that, you know, are open to suggestions, are open to the vision. So basically, it's just brainstorming and saying, this is what we can, this shot would look better, or this, I feel like this would work more. And it's a suggestion, or telling them that this would work. And that's it. I've never had any issue whether I'm a woman or not, because for those who value my opinion, they value it. So I've never had an issue to fight.
Did you have to put the treatments together for the videos?
Some of them, yes.
I've seen some treatments for videos. That is a lot. That's a lot. And then some of the things you take out, some of the things, you know, you leave in, but it's a lot to have to put that together. And I think that for those who don't understand what a treatment is, this is you writing down the full concept of the video on paper, like every single last detail. You don't just jump in front of a camera.
Right. Like I said, a guideline. So when you have guideline, easier to execute because you know what shot come next, or like in terms of like props, what you need
Mm-hmm.
to see. So it has to be detailed like that. Don't if you want a stool on set to do a particular shot. So that would just involve everything. So you need this as a guideline to execute the job. And
Baby.
funny enough, you might have a script or a treatment that's so long, and then you have a video that's like a minute. But
And I think people don't even know how many hours of footage that you have to shoot just to get down to something that's a blink. You know.
because
Yes.
recently I was the location scout for the Trippie Red and guy, I cannot remember this hip hop artist's name.
Okay.
I was on set with Trippie Red and he's doing stuff for his new album. And the amount of shots that we had, and when it was edited, I'm like, what? Everything was
Right.
gone. This was gone. So
But you shot so much footage.
yes, you have to, because it's better to have more than less.
See? So what about when you did some commercials? What products did you star in when you did your commercials?
Okay, because I do PR too, and for most of them, it's something that I kind of in doing PR, you immerse yourself in the brand.
Okay.
It started out like I know for Glitzy here,
Okay.
you know, I became the PR, social media content,
The
whatever,
manager,
and,
right?
and then I had to sell a product. You have to get to know it. So I started to buy their product, and
Okay.
then it's talking about it, and they're like, "No, we need you for this because of
Right.
how I because don't mind my hair, but I love weave." So it's just a whole heap of things where they just say, "All right, no, you
Is
need to
that
be
your
a
natural hair?
yeah, this is my natural hair right here."
It's beautiful though. Hmm.
I have nice hair. I cannot look the same all the time.
Right. I heard that.
I like the space between real
Hmm.
stuff.
You got to pay for that. You can't just be complimenting her on her gap. You have to pay to stare at her mouth. um, okay, so what type of product
But
is Glitzy? Because I see it's a hair
very different.
salon. I didn't know they had products too. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. What did you say?
I didn't know they had products too. I know they're a hair salon.
Oh no, the wigs and extensions and
Okay.
like like curling iron and stuff like that.
He said that he okay, we're just gonna skip past him at this point. Okay.
Genie just put your
Right, you know what I'm saying? Hey, drop it,
Asia.
drop it, you know. Okay, so that was very interesting, but you know what? And if we could discuss that, because there's always so many different conversations about it. As you said, sometimes you just feel like looking different, and if you see persons who sell different hair products and stuff, they do have hair under that, but sometimes you want to look different, and it's really a personal choice on whether or not you choose to wear extensions or wigs or weaves. It's personal.
Yeah,
It
and
doesn't,
then
mm-hmm.
I'm short and I'm in the growing backstage, and if
Okay.
anyone
Yeah.
knows how are always easy to comb. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's easy to grab a wig or it's
Right.
easy, you know, it's just convenience. So it's not like, oh, you're not being natural or whatever the case might be. I
Right.
mean, you
Right.
don't struggle
Right.
when you're
No,
in
it's
the
a lot. Yep.
yeah. So
It's a lot when you don't have chemicals in your hair. It is a lot to handle, and I see all these YouTube videos and stuff, and I see how they do this and do that, and I'm like, okay, now post the full video, because you know you
yeah,
sped that up before you put it on there.
it compressed it, so you're not seeing everything, just like makeup tutorials.
Right.
Yeah, they don't show you.
No, it's not. It's not that easy. I'm growing mine back too, and it grows longer on this side, shorter on this side. You know what I mean? And different grades and different. Yeah. So I don't understand. I'm not a wig person because I'd probably just put it on as a hat. I see how when you do the lace, and then you have to do you have to put it on, and you have to cut this part, and you have to put the. I'm not doing that. It's a hat. You put it on your head, and you go about your business.
Because I've always been that kind of person, it just
Mm-hmm.
became for me to learn. So
Right.
I just myself, and I don't think twice about it.
See, maybe
Yeah.
I'll get to that point. You know. So, okay. So that those are the things that you've done in TV. Let's jump over to radio.
Um, Radio.
Yes, you have
I,
done some producing on radio.
I didn't do much in radio actually.
Okay.
It's just probably interviewing an artist
Mm-hmm.
or um doing like a voiceover
Okay.
or a commercial. But I didn't dive much into radio at all actually.
Okay.
So that's an area that I didn't touch much on. Just like a voice, or if I had to do an interview on the spot, they're always putting spot. I don't know why.
Right. Right. Well,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be so talented, Lila. How about that? It's
I don't
your fault.
voice. I don't even like my voice. And they're always putting me in this position.
You're not supposed to listen to yourself.
Girl, it's like, when you listen to your voice note and you're like, did I say that? And it's like, shit, look, you know, I like voice. So,
See, and everyone who listens to it is like, "Oh, I need to get her voice on this," and
yeah,
you're like, "Why?"
I'm like, really?
Yes.
I don't feel that way at all.
Ah.
But
Well,
I didn't do much in radio.
okay. Just a couple things there because I do know that you done some voiceovers and stuff. So yeah, Josh Single said your voice is dope. That's what I'm saying. What is she talking about? You
Thank
know
you.
what I mean? Look, Keisha Martin has 10 voices living in her head, so she definitely.
Ja Prince,
Yeah.
I can't bother.
I'm pretty sure he's in your DMs right now, like, hey, so I need you to voice this for me. Don't click it. Don't open it. So what was it like for you? So, you've done some artist management. Yeah, artist development. Let me say it that way. What is it like for you? Because we know with Lyric DVD, you were there from inception. So doing development with some of the developing artists, what is that like for you to be at the beginning of their career and to help them get on that path?
I think it's a difficult path because
Mm-hmm.
in the initial stage of meeting this individual, the artist,
Mm-hmm.
and outlining the goal, everybody have their own personality and they're gonna have their own goals that they want to meet. No, artists are some creative people. Let me say that. So you're not going to always see eye to eye, but the persons who are willing to listen and see the vision, it's easier
Mm-hmm.
for you. Some more difficult, but I've always been okay with walking away from anything once it doesn't serve my purpose. So I'm saying to you, if you come to me, right, and you want my inputs, you want my expertise, and you're not willing to work for it, because what artists don't realize that some artists that this is your job, just like how we get up and do a 9 to 5, this is your job. You have to do this all the time, every day. This
Mm-hmm.
is your job, your brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's
Hey, found this show.
so in working on yourself, you have to develop to move from point A to point B. So
Mm.
simple like yeah,
Let's write
appearance.
that down. It's time to take some notes here. This is your job.
Of course, it's a job. So just like how you would get up and go to a 9 to 5, is your job. You go to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
You think of ways to improve your brand, and then you learn.
Mm-hmm.
The artists don't know the business of the music itself.
Look, somebody over here tapping the mess out of them hearts. They say yes. So stop throwing subs. Yes, and I think they do miss that part. It's your job.
Yeah, because it's a simple thing like an artist get a song and it's on the radio and in turn to your brother and say, yo, right? So you manager and the manager don't know anything about the business. And fine, he doesn't know anything about the business, but he's not learning in the process. He's not going back to school. He's not learning from people who has been there before. He's just saying, no, I'm not take that for the dub plate later. You cannot deal with people like that. And then you have all these issues, and then why our industry is having so much issues, because we're not as professional. We don't take it as a business. It's like a party shop mentality. And it's just hard because, you know, as somebody who is well traveled and I've been able to be on the international stage and be with hip hop artists, when you see how they handle their thing, you're like, if only Jamaica would get, like, the artists would get out of their own way. And there are few, and there are some really good managers in Jamaica that do it for their artists. But a lot of these artists just get somebody, like my brother, my manager, you know, and some of them, fine, you want somebody who controls the money and who you can trust. But that person now who takes on this role needs to learn, needs to be knowledgeable now, to say, okay, for me to best help my artists, I need to do these things.
You know what's so amazing is that you're saying it with a straight face, and just very directly. And I think that having worked in hip hop, you know, myself, I think that it is so important for them to understand that in that particular genre, it's business.
Yes.
We're here to make money. I don't have time to listen to, you know, your little problems and your little personalities and stuff. Can we eat? We can't eat. We're not discussing it. Also, you know, it's not, there's the politics and the personalities, all that other stuff. But the first thing about it is we gonna eat off of that or what? And you can call MF this, that, and whatever else. But at the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah, and it's a job, so you have to execute your job. You have to do it properly. So, because if this is how you're going to make your bread, this is how you're going to eat, you have to take it seriously. This is not just a hobby. It's a job. So you have to just deal with it seriously, because the more you put into it is the more you're going to see.
That's the, y'all write this down. Hold on one second. I have to take this note, please. The more you put in, put into it, the more, I'm putting that in caps, you get, because you know what happened, Lila? They believe that they are entitled to get paid, that everyone knows them, and that's just, you know what, we moving on, because don't, listen, Lila.
I think for this industry, you have to be strong-minded to be in it, and strong-willed, because to deal with all these characters, and I have dealt with a lot, from head over to the tail, it's just.
Mm-hmm. But that's also why you have remained. That's why you're still here. You know, because for you it is business. It's not personal. You're secure in who you are. You know who you are. You know, and that's why you've done so much. That's why, you know, people contact you, and definitely why you are who you are. Period. There's just no way around that. You know, so I want to talk about some of the events that you have both promoted and produced.
Oh, well, I came up on the Sharonberg. So first and foremost, Sharonberg.
Big up Auntie Sharon, yes.
A lot to say, but that's my aunt right there, and she has been instrumental, because I went to school for psychology. I was going to be a clinical psychologist, and I started to do part-time at Sharon's office. and I fell in love with the industry. Right now, I'm not really loving it, but I fell in love with the industry. So, you know, the fully loaded, the
Yes.
overload,
Yes.
um, we came up the right way. We had
Absolutely.
everything, and maybe that is why I have
Absolutely.
so many environments, because we had to do so much, from contracts to road management to events to road show
Mm-hmm.
management. It was just like a coursework.
Yep.
And then she's so instrumental with the people, because Headline came from her, because Jerome had worked under her before he started his own company. So she's instrumental in getting so much people out there. And I have to give her credit, because credit.
Absolutely. That what a power of another CEO, you know, who, and you have to say Auntie Sharon, who is about the business. This is it. This is the way that it is, and that's it.
Right.
That's just it. And about that black and white, the contracts, the paper, period.
And to have longevity in this industry as a,
Mm-hmm.
you have to give her credit for that.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
CEO is for us queens
yes,
who are running things in the industry. Yes, Shaw Prince. Thank you for pasting that up. Yes, CEO. SHEO. One E. Mm-hmm.
so I came up under that, and so I've done Bounty It's a Party. I actually started Bounty
Yes.
for him. Um,
Mm.
I've done Atlanta Jerk Festival. I've done so much. So Sting. I was entertainment and stage coordinator for Sting for many years on the Ling, and well, Brigga. Brigga was the stage manager. But basically, a lot of events. I've done a lot of events. I can't remember all, but I came from the fully loaded days. So
So what happens here is, and I know you don't like talking about yourself, and we're at half past the hour, so I just want to, you know, reset the live and let you guys know that the check-in is today on my page instead of British Linkz. We were having technical difficulties over there, you know, but we are still live today, because let me tell you that Lila Lockdcity does not speak about herself. This is an exclusive. We don't know if we'll ever, you know, hi mommy, that's Mama Sweetness there, Victoria McKetty, that's my mom.
I,
So we great. We don't know if we'll ever be able to, you know, to hear her talk about herself today. So I'm like trying to go through her whole timeline and try to get this out, because I want you all to understand that this is a serious woman who has done, thank you, Brown Michelle, a serious woman who has done so much in the industry. And again, the purpose of the check-in is to show the duality. You have those who work in music, because we're more than dance hall, we're CEOs. That is the phrase that we use here at the check-in, but the purpose is to show you guys the duality of your dance hall tastemakers. What do they do besides the music? And so we're not there yet, because we're going through her music, her TV, her radio, and everything. We are on the stage right now, and if you heard what she said, and she doesn't like talking about herself, but she's doing it today. So it's not bragging, it's just letting you guys know, no, there is a serious person who is, you know, putting on shows and doing so much. So we are now at Sting, you know, and things that you have done on the stage. Excuse me. And what was that like? Because Sting is a huge monster. You know, that's huge.
it's after a while you get used to it, but coming from being a patron of Sting and just being in the crowd and seeing what it's like versus being behind the scenes, it's a different ball game. So, you know, you have to watch the stage, you have to gauge the audience, because you know Sting is a buckle show. So anytime there's a gap, you know you have to fix that. So it's like, if you have, like, you do a running order, so you have times when the artists are not on time, and there's going to be, you can't have that. You can't let the audience know what is happening or the chaos that is happening backstage. So
Right.
you have to be like, grab somebody and send them out there, MC go on, because the Sting crowd is
Hey, British Linkz in the building. Big up my producer, Romy Icon.
Hey, British Linkz.
Yeah, so I know that he's moving
Yes.
about the place. Yeah, so you just have to make it smooth.
Yeah, because I think the whole stage thing is a lot, but Sting has definitely. But even at Summer Jam, I did Bling Dog Summer Jam for him, and there was some. I mean, I remember people stampede, people running on my back. So I've been through, yes, I've been through a lot in this industry. But you have to gauge the audience. You have to see things coming from a mile away, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
just act. So you just put on this hat and you go out there and you're like, you see something coming. You watch because fully loaded was a stampede thing too. So you have to watch. You have to watch
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So you know, you came up rough. You learn all these things first. So
Mm-hmm.
if
Mm-hmm.
you're placed on a stage where it's nothing because you've been
Right.
all of this already.
Right. Okay, so talk about Bounty Sundays though. Why did you decide like, hey, this needs to happen? This is how it's gonna happen. Talk to us about that. Oh no.
Okay. Um, Bouncy Sundays came about just from a conversation.
Okay.
Um, it was, I believe, I'm not sure, and don't quote me.
Okay.
Um, it was instrumental from a conversation. It came about that was the birth of it. Where Bounty Killer went to every party in support everybody.
Poor people governor.
Yes, so we just had a conversation and say why you don't keep a party because you support everybody party, every party, and him going by a bottle and whatever. So it just came about from a conversation with him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's we just said, yeah, we're gonna just do it. So I started it, and I think for the first couple, about 5 or so, I basically manned the bar and the gates, and
Was it at Quad or Asylum?
it was right Limelight.
Like, I thought that I went, but
Right,
I'm not sure.
it's right. It was right out by Halfway Tree, like where the not where the like Portmore bus stop. Those who know know, but it's Limelight. So that's where that was like the original home of it.
Did he have more than one weekly event?
I am not sure because
I went to something, but I don't remember which event it was.
I'm not sure. Well, maybe
Yeah, it was a bounty event though.
on to Sundays. It was just always on Sunday. It was by Limelight. That was the home base of it initially.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. It's
Yeah,
been
but I
so
basically
long.
just started it, tried to organize it, and
Mm-hmm.
then his family came into play. Like his sister was helping with the bar, and then
Mm-hmm.
because I will start something, and then once I see it can maintain itself, I move away from it. So
So what are some other events? Because in addition to, the promotions, you do event planning. So what other events would we, be familiar with?
mostly like press launches, Bling Dog Summer Jam.
Mm-hmm. Something in my teeth. It's killing me. Uh-oh.
Uh, it's fine. Um, I don't know. Most of the events is basically like a group effort.
Okay. I have something in my teeth. I can't find my floss. I don't know why it would be right here
Oh yeah.
anyway. Maybe it's in the bathroom. I don't know what I did with it. I'm just going to sit here and pick my teeth. I hate when that happens. Okay, let's talk clothing. No, it's not here. I don't know what I did with it. Let's talk clothing.
Clothing.
Before you mention the name of your boutique, and show us your branding,
Okay.
how do you segue into clothing after production and voiceover and promotions and producing? How do you get into clothing?
Well, actually, 14 parishes, sorry, is also a group effort. It's a family thing. It's like even when we're doing like promotions, when we do promotions, we tend to get like the cheapest shirts to print on,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't want to keep that. They're like, so you want the quality, so they'll hang on to it because you know the branding is important.
Of
So it's
course.
it came about from a conversation again, talking about quality and you know the marketplace and how we can get certain things, and that's basically it. And this was around 2018 that the idea came about, and really the CEO is my brother, Omar Smith. And that is why, because we found that it was easier for women to have variety and easy for women to have other things, and it was lacking for men. And so we just wanted to just start off, because this is just a starting point for 14 parishes. We just started
Mm-hmm.
off with, depending on how it grows, we'll move into other areas.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 14 Parishes, you guys, is a boutique that she co-owns with her brother, and you have your shirt on there. If you wouldn't mind showing us. Yes. Look at this. And where is it located?
It's just it's just online for now, but we're in Jamaica, and we wanted a Jamaican brand, but we didn't want the regular Jamaican brand with the flag and all of that. We wanted something that you wanted, like you know, like you buy a Calvin Klein shirt or a Tommy. You
Mm-hmm.
want it,
Mm-hmm.
you wear it, and you want to like grab it like this is fashionable, like so. We just started and we said, okay, he came up with the idea also because it's a Jamaica brand, and it's 14 projects that came about from that. You just think about Jamaica, you think about all the things that had to do
No
with
sound.
Jamaica.
Maybe Nichelle, maybe close your app out and come back and see if you can hear the sound there.
Is that for everybody or just Nichelle?
Is anyone else having audio issues, audio difficulties?
Well, maybe they wouldn't hear if.
Oh. Yeah. Right, because I just called her name like she's going to hear me, right? Closing the app out and forward. Closing the app out and forward. Josh Single can hear. Okay. Shazza! Hey, baby. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. So shouts out to the producer. Romy Icon is here. And of course, our publicist, Shazza. I'm always so excited. I hate when it doesn't show me who's here. Yeah, you guys are just there and stuff. Yeah. Where is my, I don't know. Do I have hair in my teeth or something? But anyway. Okay. So
Also,
it's on.
audio issues.
Okay, so it is, let me tag it here. It's 14 parishes, 14 FOUR, and it's here, parishes. Yeah, 14 parishes. Did I do that?
Yes.
Yeah, no, Romy, I'm saying that when persons come in, I'm not able to see them because I like to greet everyone and call their name as they come in. So I want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone. But I'm happy you're here too, because then you could let me know so I can make sure that I'm acknowledging everyone.
But if they don't come in, well, we're not gonna know.
Yeah, so I don't want to keep clicking it like Lila, hold on, Lila, hold on 1 second, hold on, I just. I'm doing better. Normally I call everybody's name who comes in, but today I was just like clicking the hand thing. So welcome everyone who is here. This is definitely an exclusive that we get to speak with Lila Lockdcity, and we've just, gone through some of her history, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys definitely want to make sure that you check out her clothing line. That is where we are. We have about 14 minutes left, but I wanted to talk about that because I want you guys to understand that for everything that she's done with the brand development and, you know, the music, TV, radio, you know, that in addition to all of that she's done for media, that she does have her own clothing line. That is serious. To do so many other things and still make time out to build herself and build her brand. She's actually wearing one of the t-shirts from the brand.
It's very important to build, especially in music, because if COVID taught us anything, that we have to find something that's sustainable. We have to find different sources of income. We don't have health insurance in entertainment. So you have to be your own.
Write that down. We don't have health insurance.
Yes. So you now have to be the manager of yourself as somebody who's. So when you're earning, you have to now go and get insurance for yourself. Unless you're working for a company that provides this, you have to invest in other areas because not all the time entertainment is going to be up. So it's not up. So I'm not only doing 14 parishes, I do travel as well. I do real estate as well because you have to have different sources of income. I'm trying to get to the level and I'm not there yet, but it is important because you don't want, as I said with COVID happened and you lose something. You lose your house, you lose your car because the entertainment shuts down. I had tours lined up and all these artists that were supposed to go all over the world, and then just like that.
So right now, are you do you have any availability, any spaces on your roster for any artists who are looking for what you provide?
For the artists that I've been working with before, I'm going to continue. It's gonna be hard to take up another artist. The most recent one is 450, and he's the one that we're pushing right now. I don't like to take up something I cannot give you 100%. Because you know we want to get the money, but sometimes when you run down the money and you don't give a client what they want is you know, word of mouth is the best in this industry. So if
look at what you just said, I don't feel like I could give you 100, I'm not working with you. It's not about the money. That is so important. I see the lights here.
If I don't like what I'm hearing, or I don't want to just take on a project and I can't get behind it. So if I don't like what I'm hearing, or I might not, because how am I going to market to you if I can't even say I can relate to your stuff?
We like her, y'all.
So
are you following Lila? Please follow her.
Me, that's just me. I cannot. It's like people come. How much you charge for PR, and I'm like, it doesn't work like that. You have to give me the product. I have to see how I can market, then come up with a strategy to market, and then we execute it.
Will you be my friend? Can we be friends?
We're already friends. Wow.
Just wanted to. I want to call you sometime. No, listen to this. Listen to this. Don't you know who I am? What you mean I have to give you the product first? How much? I'm not sending you anything.
And I'm going to say to you, that's fair enough, but maybe I'm not the person that you need to work with, because I cannot just take up your product and say, all right, I'm going to give you 3 interview here, so 3 this or whatever. No, sometimes you need playlisting. Sometimes you need international stuff. Sometimes you need radio plays. Sometimes you need street promotion. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes of music. And I don't think we pay enough attention to streaming. And it as I mentioned COVID again, streaming is what is saving some of these artists, because there's shows.
Write this down. Streaming, put that in all caps, streaming, STREAMING, is what's saving some of these artists.
You know you're going to get me in trouble.
No more trouble than I've been in. You said we was friends. So now that we're friends, if I'm in trouble, you in trouble. No, and that's just because, you know, when we have the check-in, you know, it's just so important again, because people see what you do and think that it's all glitz and glam and don't understand, you know, the brain power that goes behind it and the things that you have to do. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, sometimes you have to have these conversations with your clients directly and say, hey, we need you to promote that your music is playlisted on this DSP or it's getting playlisted. So you need to, you know, do that. I need you to do a video drop to say, check out my music here and there. And they might not understand it, but you definitely do. You know, and so it's important for those who might be a creative on here or media persons to, you know, be able to go back and say, hey, so we had an executive over here who also said, because I've been trying to tell you, and you hard-headed, and I watched the conversation, and this lady said streaming is what's saving somebody. It's important.
Yeah, because there's no shows at the moment. Or at the time when the COVID hit and everything shut down, there was no shows. So if you didn't have any savings, if you didn't have anything to rely on, if it was a situation where you needed that next show to pay a bill, it was an issue for an artist. So now, if anything, they need to pay attention to their streaming. They need to pay attention to other sources of income, which I've always told all my artists that if once you start to earn, you start to invest. Because there are times that it's not always going to be up. So you have to find invest.
Once you start to earn, y'all, she said an I word. She said invest.
And I don't mean a car, because as soon as you drive off the lot, that depreciates.
Once you start to earn, you start to invest. And when we say invest, Lila, can we say invest in yourself too? That means that I don't need to be contacting you and saying, hey, I need a favor. I understand that this is what you do and that I need to come with my budget. I
don't think we value PR as much here or in the dancehall space as much. They don't really see the importance, and when they see you do work on another project and they see the hype and the buzz and they come to you and they say they want that, and they're not willing to pay the money that got that person to that point. So what you pay for is basically what you get.
Can we also agree it's also your personality might not be the same as that
right,
person
and then
you
it's
saw something happen for him?
Well, because there's just some people that just gravitate to or can relate to another artist's music and they can't relate to yours. It's as simple as that.
I didn't get her in trouble, y'all. She got herself in trouble. No, and I thank you for saying that, because I think that, you know, you do have to hear that and hear it on repeat. You know, you definitely do. But you saw when Shuzzer came in and stuff, and Miss Rain isn't here right now. But when I tell you that I go to my publicist, one of the things, I had a potty mouth and I said, you know, the F word a lot, and just, you know, I tend to be very impulsive and stuff. And they like, what are you doing? You know, but publicists tell your story. Publicists put you out there. We don't care that, you know, you're dating George and John. That has nothing to do with the music that we put out there. We don't care about your baby mamas and stuff. And your publicists are going out there and building that story and making sure they're not social media managers, but they're telling the story, and they're, you know, seeking media opportunities, and, you know, you have your promo runs and things of that nature. And so I do not feel either that publicists, you know, get the love that they should be receiving. You know, but when you see a lot of people talk about their publicists, you know, when Cardi B first started out, you know, her publicist was right there. Cardi B got into it with somebody. She was getting into it with them too. Like, yes, they don't get enough love, but I definitely love mine, and I use the same ones over and over, you know, and they have reached a point, and I think it is the confidence that you have in knowing who you are, why you can't turn some things away. You know,
Right.
you're a high risk client. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Instead of focusing on your career, you're doing other things. You know, it's just not someone that I'm going to work with. And you do have the option of saying no, you know, and I think a lot of persons don't understand that.
Well, most of it is just, I guess, especially now you want to earn, so you jump on it, but you have to think about the marketability of whatever you're doing.
Marketable. That's another word, y'all. You are not marketable.
And stuff like that. Like, how are you going to fit into this space? Because everybody wants to fit into a particular space. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you need to try another space. But not everybody wants to hear that. And then, you get frustrated just having to go over this over and over again. And it's just disheartening because also, when an artist is young and hungry, you hear all the good things, you get everything that you want. And once he reaches the next point where he has advanced, it's a different person. You have to be a different person, different everything sometimes. And then it's like, it's just a
What
lot.
happened to old boy from that we first started out with? Where did you come from? Let's go back to him.
A simple thing like when he was hungry for it, he was open and he was listening to, or she was listening to what you have to say. And then when you reach to a next point and oh, I'm now my own boss, or I can do this myself, because everybody thinks they get there by themselves. And it's not even just me as a publicist or me as a booking agent or me as a whatever title I'm wearing at the time, or road manager, because I've been road
Do
manager.
that too, right?
So it's not just one person, it's a whole team of people that propel you to the next level, because
Yes, absolutely.
instrumental to call in somebody and say, wake up this artist because they need to get here. From driving that person to, I take nobody for granted.
Yes.
Everybody is important on this journey. But when they get to the journey, so they reach a point in the journey sometimes. They feel like they reach. And then because they're not taking your advice anymore, it becomes hard for you to direct them. And then now you get blamed.
See?
When you are open to listening and doing whatever, that is how you got to this point.
That's
But
right.
now you're not, or we're going to get to the next point. So it's a whole heap of things that happens behind the scenes, and in trying to make the whole mechanism of the being an artist, the developing everything to just make it work, create a brand. So definitely, as I come back to it and touch on it, artist development it's very important. But you are willing to work, and kudos go to the artists that I have been in like, I'm honored to know them, because they have been the same, constantly consistent artists. And it's a pleasure to work with them. I just love them. You have to rate those artists, because you go through so much and you see how these people they hurt themselves in the process. You try to talk to them, and then when they don't listen, it all comes down to, oh, you never did your job, or it's your fault, or whatever the case might be. Basically, come my back broad. We'll just say, okay. I have no time for it, basically.
Right. Thank you, Timeless. I'm glad you were able to listen. You guys, this has been an hour, with Lila Lockdcity. I hope that you all did take notes and heard everything that she said. This is exclusive. She does not, as I said before, she doesn't, speak about who she is and what she's done and things of that nature. Lila, very, very happy that you did accept Romy's invitation and that you could talk to us, and just, you've given us so much knowledge. And just thank you, because again, I think it's necessary to speak. Hey, there goes my other publicist. I told you, Miss Rain. Yeah. which is someone just like I said with Shuzzer. Hey, they could say no, they could, you know, turn you down, but I just want to tell you thank you, because it's extremely important to sometimes, you know, speak on someone with the experience that you had, and the time that you spent in this industry, to hear from you and to hear you say what others are saying, because you have a successful timeline. And that's why it's important for us to listen to you, and for them to know you also have your clothing line. So it's not just what you do, you know, done and doing, continue to do in music, but it is also, you know, what you do outside of it, which is clothing, which is again 14 Parishes. You guys, please make sure that you're following her so that you can also follow her clothing line. Yes. So anything you want to say? Last words, Miss Lila?
No, just overall, we all think about ourselves as a brand and advancing ourselves. So even if you're doing one thing, try not to just be complacent in doing one thing. Try to read, try to open your mind, try to listen to like podcasts, to you know, just get knowledge however you can get knowledge. Talk to people who have done it before. It's very important, because sometimes, you know, it's like not making that mistake because you've learned or you've heard about it. So it's just important to just be in a place and just experience it, but also to think about your next stage is moving forward, because we can't be stuck in one place.
Right.
So basically what I have to say.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And
You're
we're
most
best friends
welcome.
now. I'm sorry?
I said you're most welcome. It was a
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes, yes, yes. See, I told you, girl, we was just gonna talk. We just talk. That's all.
I know, just, you know, in
I
having
know,
a
talking about yourself. I know.
you overshare, or you will say things that will hurt people's feelings.
You did
And
not.
I,
You didn't.
yeah, and I'm not really going to be like soft on anyone's feelings. I'm going to tell you like it is all the time. So, you know, just to shy away from that, I don't put myself out there like that.
Right. Well, no, thank
That was,
you so much. Thank you. Okay,
you're
you
most
guys,
welcome.
that is it. We will see you in 2
British
weeks.
sweetness.
Yes, yes, yes. Quite welcome, my dear. Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I hope you guys did take notes. Of course, once you start to earn, you start to invest. I'm just giving you guys notes that we got from Lila. Streaming, it's what's, you know, it's what's saving you. It's what's going on. So make sure that you're definitely, you know, promoting your streaming. She also spoke about marketability. Are you marketable? Make sure you check that out. And we don't have health insurance in entertainment. So I hope you guys receive the same gems that I did. I hope that you are following her. I hope that you're following her. That is very important. As she said, watch those who have done it so that you can learn from them, so you're not running into the same mistakes, and don't get in your own way. We will see you guys again on the check-in on Monday, October 11th, where we will be speaking with Dub Master Chris. He is out of New York. You guys only think you know him, but you actually have no idea. I love you guys. You have the happiest of Mondays. I just want to take a moment of silence out for my girlfriend, Benita Desperado, who passed away 5 years ago. I am not doing my best right now. It's very, very, very difficult. So I'm going to take a moment of silence for her. We did business together, you know, and what you see before you is a product of that friendship and that business. So a moment of silence. And I thank you guys. I am going to go chill. Make sure that you love yourself, and make sure that you are loving on others.